like, yesterday morning, it was like, I was telling Adam, I said, we got this. There is absolutely nothing, like nothing.
I know, me.
I felt so good about it. And then we are sitting there in the waiting room, and like when I first walked in, the officer, the animal control lady, her name was right above ours, like to sign in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's in here. And so we sign in, sit down, and then after that, like a few minutes later, the little girl and her dad show up. Because I hear him say his name, and I recognize the little girl. And so they sit down in front of us, and, like, Parker recognizes her, right away, and so does everyone new, And so then, like, people are coming in and out of the courtroom, and, it's, lawyers and, so I'm thinking, all right, everything's gonna be fine. But then the animal control officer, I'm trying not to say her name so we don't get in trouble like with this on the location, but she comes out of the courtroom. Like, she had been in there since right before we got there. She comes out of the courtroom and she calls the little girl and the dad into the hallway.
Wait, now who's this? The dog lady?
Yeah, the lady that threatened to kill Nightwing. So she calls them out into the hallway. She looks like Grimace from McDonald's, like...
First time you've seen her.
Yeah, first time. And, I could feel my pulse, my heart racing through my entire body, And so... Hi! You look so awesome. I like your coat. So they go out in the hallway, and Adam goes out because, like, no one knows what we look like, So he goes out in the hallway and he pretends that he's talking. He pretends he's listening to his voicemail. And he's hearing her tell this little girl, oh, we got this. This is already a done deal, and basically telling her, what they're going to say. And she's like, the judge is going to rule in our favor and everything like that. And so she comes back. They come back in and their seat got taken. So they had to sit behind us. But she still wasn't aware that we were the people that she saw at the park. And so I hear her saying that she's nervous and that she doesn't remember things. And then, because she was talking nonstop to her dad, 10 years old, and she's like, I'm scared because I don't remember. They said it's fine. She's like, yeah, you're right. She's like, that lady, she's so nice. She's like a grandma. And he's like, yeah, she probably is a grandma. She's real nice. She said that they're going to be real mean. They're going to be real mean to the dog owner, and they're going to be real nice to me. And they're going to be real nice to me. And they already decided they're just going to be real mean to this lady. Like, she's telling her dad this. I'm sitting right in front of them. And, my kids are hearing it, too. And it's just, mind freaking blown. Because it's like, the fix is in. Like, what the... And it's because then she goes back into the courtroom and she's just sitting in there. The whole time all these other hearings are going on. And then, she's alone with the judge. Sitting in there alone with the judge. Then, basically everyone has their stuff except for, theirs was, one other family after that. And she calls us in, and, she's running the show, this lady, this animal control lady. She's like, can Kristen sit here? At a little white, buffet table, in the middle of the room next to me. And then the dad sat on the other side, facing me, and then, they're like, well, who is he? What's he doing here? I'm like, you sent Adam a summons. He was the witness. I'm like, he was the one with the dog. And so they're like, oh, well, you can sit back there. And he's, sitting in a corner. My kids, didn't ask my kids a single question. I swear, Rachel, like, it was the most insane. Like, I've never been to court, but like there was no one else in the room, just the judge, just this lady, you know, and she starts off by saying, I just want to, clarify that, on this one citation, I put a 2 for, instead of a 3 for the date of the occurrence, because she had one citation marked for like February, which would have had me in jail, you know. So I said, she's like, I don't know why I did that, but I just wanted to, let you know that was a mistake. And I was like, oh, okay, sure, you know. And so then, like, they're going over everything, and the judge just goes livid over, because she's like, so did you, like, it was basically, she asked me.
Hold on.
Okay.
Good. JP's like stripping copper out here in the garage, and he's got shit everywhere. Where is your father? Jimmy! No, we're not playing with that.
Where's your father?
All your cars. Look, let's go play with your cars. Look, here's your fire truck. Like any other time we're out here, he's running around like crazy.
Right.
Supposed to be stuck up my ass.
I
go
get
play.
that. Been there. Okay.
Let's play with your cars, Bubba. Come on. Cool. Look. There we go. All right. Go ahead. Sorry.
No problem. So then she got lit. Like, the judge just, went insane on me over, I said, she said, is the dog vaccinated? And I was like, yes. I said, but I didn't have the information. She's yelling at me on the phone, and I couldn't think straight. And I said, I was trying to explain that, and she, and I told her about, like, how Mike and I both have separate safes, and how Mike was the one that always, like, would take the dogs to the vets. And I'm like, and she's like, well, did you contact your ex? And I said, yeah. And she said, when? And I said, and I'm like, everything Mike, like, I mentally, like, have to dissolve. You know what I mean? Like, what happened that when I did contact Mike, which was that night, like, he made the kids cry, because he basically said, because we were like, can you take Nightwing? Because we're worried that she's going to get put down, and he basically told the kids no. They were crying after, like, and so I did, like, I did, like, a mental wipe of that night. You know what I mean? After that stuff. So like, when she asked me, when did you ask him? I said, I don't know, like a day or two later. And she said, a day or two later, this little girl could have been dead. And like, and then she's just like, I said, I don't know what day. I said, well, my kids were still with me. And she's like, well, you just testified under oath that it was 2 days later. I said, I don't remember the day that I talked to my ex. I said, I'm pretty sure it was that day. But I'm like, his response, which is what stuck with me, was, gee, sure wish I could help you, but that sounds like a you problem. I said, he took the dog to a vet in Youngstown, Ohio. How am I supposed to find that information out on my own? And she's like, this girl has been through enough, and blah, blah, blah. And like, she went through the citations. Not a single citation is about dog bite. It's licensing, which I have, the following day, because I'm still an Ohio resident. I still own a home in Ohio. My license is Ohio. I can't vote here, so me getting my dog a license after the East Palestine train derailment here was not really a thing on my fucking to-do list.
It's real weird.
Right.
Like, they're weird about everything, but I know when we got the cat, I couldn't pick it up on a certain day. Like, it had, because I lived in Ohio, it had to be checked by a vet or something before I could take.
That was the same with Nightwing
on Tuesdays, so I had to wait. Yeah, Pennsylvania.
Really. And it's so here's the thing, is like, I had all this paperwork to prove that Ohio law, first off, Ohio has no law on rabies vaccine boosters. It's recommended by the vet, it's in the clinics and all that stuff, but there is no actual law that, like, I would go to jail if anything happened, because the dog's been vaccinated. And in Ohio, it's not. It differs from. There's two different types. There's a 1 year and a 3 year. So she could have easily had the 3-year, you know what I mean? And that was a few years ago, because like I remember it was before COVID that he took her to the vet. She had some like weird thing going on. I'm pretty sure that they gave her updated shots. So, you know, I don't even get a chance to explain this. And I kept on saying, but I'm from I said, but the Ohio, well, it doesn't matter. You're not in Ohio. This isn't Ohio. It doesn't matter. Like, and she's like, so you're telling me, because she said, so you felt threatened by this lady? And I said, yes. And she said, did you go to the police station? I said, yes.
Was this like the state attorney?
This was the judge.
Oh, okay.
Unbelievable. Anyway, she said, did you go to the police station and file a police report? And I said, yes, I did. She said, did you get a copy? Guess what? They didn't give me a copy. And I said, no, because, and I was trying to explain that the sergeant came in and started like talking me down and being like, oh, I got your email, and like you're from the mayor, and I just want to let you know that we're taking the side of the station on this. And I said, that's fine, but I don't know if this lady is really real, because she's like, won't accept my mail, won't answer the phone. I'm like, like she has no physical address, and I can't get these. I had all the paperwork I needed to show that, I did everything I was told. The judge didn't want to see it. She charged me above and beyond because I took a sip of water. Because my mouth was so dry. My mind was so fucking blown by they wouldn't hear. They were calling Adam a liar, and basically they showed the dog bite wasn't even the same picture that the picture that the cop showed me. There was no skin that was torn. And on this one, this girl looked like she was bit by freaking Cujo, and my dog has crooked teeth, and this was not, and she still has all bruises all over her leg 2 months later. I guarantee, this is so fucking twisted, man. So, I took a sip of water, and the judge said, what do you think you are, some sort of movie star? What are you doing? I said, I'm taking a sip of water. I didn't realize. I said, I've never been in court. I didn't know that wasn't allowed. And she's like, just the amount of disrespect. And I said, I'm sorry, Your Honor. And so then it was like, you know what? She's like, I'm done with you. And she's asked Adam some questions, and she's like, this is ridiculous. And she's like, because she was only going to find me guilty on the rabies, and even though I had the license, she was going to still find me on that because of failure to present to the police officer at the time, I guess, so then she decided then the one main charge, which was for dog at large, which meant that the dog wasn't on a leash, even though we had pictures showing, and I brought the leash, and the little girl confirmed that the dog was on a leash. She still decided to charge me with the maximum fine for that. And she's like, you guys can go. And then the other ones hung around, celebrating their victory. I mean, this is the most illegal act of... she had no... First off, she doesn't have jurisdiction over me. So, how can you charge me as a Pennsylvania citizen, resident of Coraopolis, if I'm not? The problem with this is that, people want to shut me up, and I go the opposite direction, when they want to shut me up, and that's kind of where we're getting, because I was watching different, how to win the whole jurisdiction thing. I was watching videos on that, and the one, she never established any sort of jurisdiction over me whatsoever, except for when she tried to tell me I couldn't drink my water. It's if they tell you, take that toothpick out of your mouth, and you take it out, they've established jurisdiction over you.
Right. You've now entered into a contract.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as you walked in there pro se, you were representing yourself.
Yeah.
It was done. It was done.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much the legalese and stuff they can get you on.
Right.
I mean, just saying are are you Kristen Johnston? If you say yes, or like anything, or even if you say the words, do you understand?
Yeah.
It's saying you're actually consenting that you stand under their
the jurisdiction. Yep. Legalese. Speaking legalese. And so even at one point, Adam tried to say, he was like, the citation is wrong. It said that it took place on Birch Way, which is the alleyway behind our house, and the little girl admitted she was at the park. So like that whole ticket, and she was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Why would it not matter? The citation is wrong. Everything about all of this is wrong. So I guess I can like take it to a higher court.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You could file an appeal.
Yeah.
I need to, but you need an attorney.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because everything. But I'm telling you, like, now that they've ordered judgment against you and treated you that way in court, if you do get an attorney, like, you can countersue.
I'm going to.
Yeah. So, like, I already told her about that. But, if any attorney would look at this and be like, oh yeah, we're going to go after the state and we're going to win you a bunch of money. You shouldn't have to, you know what I mean? Like, you'll have to pay up. But you're going to win as long as you get a good attorney.
Right. And here's the thing, like, and the problem I told Adam, I said, where did all the police officers go? Why wasn't there anyone in there except the judge and this animal control officer? And why, like, the citations were the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania against me, so why was that little girl there showing pictures? And they had no medical documentation, because he's like, I'm not seeking any, I don't want. And she's like, well, did you have to go seek medical? And he's like, oh, it was just a copay. It's no big deal. I mean, we're lucky it was what it was. And like she was saying that, like, had the dog had rabies, which. You think I wouldn't know if my dog was like foaming at the mouth? You know what I mean? Like, and why would I take it on a walk at the park? I don't know. There's a whole lot of things, like, and if Ohio, is PA like just, full of rabies, venomous raccoons? Like, what the fuck? So, like, none of it made any sense to me. And she's like saying, that little girl could have died. That little girl could have died. And the guy was like, yeah, we were worried there for a little bit. And I'm like, where's your medical proof? He didn't bring it. Like, but he brought the copies of his, notice to appear in court. And why did they have to appear in court? They weren't suing me. They're not suing me.
Well, I guess thank goodness for that.
Yeah. And I told them, I said, if I would have known, I'm a mother. I'm like, I saw you ride off on your little bike and everything. And she like looked at me. She's like, oh yeah. Cause like we had confirmed I was not, like, I was turned the other way. She didn't scream in duress and she just rode off on her bike. Like, how would you be capable of riding your bicycle after an attack like what they're showing me in that picture? She got a brand new bike right after that and still was riding up and down the alley making my dog bite. Had a dog attacked me like that, I would not be riding my brand new bike down an alleyway taunting it.
No.
In reality.
I'd be scared to death.
You would be terrified. You wouldn't even want to get back on a bicycle as a 10-year-old.
Did they even allow Adam to talk as far as, like, your witness?
Like, he tried, because he tried to verify that the phone call actually took place, because she's like, you mean to tell me that she spoke to you like that? You're really trying to tell me that's why you're doing this? And I'm like, yes. I have witnesses. And he's like, she did. She said she threatened, and she said, you shouldn't be able to have children, let alone have a dog. And, like, she just, like, they both smirked and giggled. And she was like, it was just like, so you're telling me This little girl was viciously attacked by a dog, and you're worried about the way someone spoke to you. I said, I don't think that a law enforcement officer has a right to speak to somebody like that. So no, I felt...
but you're worried about being accused, your dog being accused of something you know in your coherent mind that happened. That's what you're concerned about.
And I have 4 people telling me, and I said, why would 4 people lie to me about this? Because we didn't even know, this was before the cops came, and I said, why would a grown-ass man lie to me? And I pointed to Adam, and she said, yeah, why would you lie to her?
Ah!
And when Adam introduced himself, he said, because she's like, I'm sorry, I can't say, this was the animal control officer. She's like, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your last name. And he said, Staff Sergeant Kosher. And she kept saying it wrong. And he's like, Staff Sergeant Kosher. And she's like, oh, it's Mr. Kosher to me. Yeah. And then,
but don't we live in a world where you got to tell people the right pronoun? Or
right. I should have been like, oh man, this is discrimination. I'm a black man just trying to make ends meet.
Yeah, dude. Right.
I identify as a black man, and this is racist.
Well, that's hard. Dude, what are you going to do?
So then, get this, Rachel. We're like, yesterday is National Day of Prayer. And so, I told Adam, I said, we should go, I wonder where it is in your town. Because I wanted to see, what this town's about, kind of, And so it was at 7 o'clock at the gazebo downtown. So he's like, we need to go. He's like, let's bring our Bibles. Let's go. We really I just feel like we should go to this because Mike was hitting us hard, throwing nasty texts at me. And and he knew I was in no condition. I said, I can't drive right now, man. I said, I'm crying, I'm shaking, and I'm like, I'd like to see Logan make it home alive. And he's like, I don't got time for this. And you said you'd bring him. And I said, I also told you that I didn't expect court to go this way, and I'm a wreck. And he's like, just figure it out and get him home. So that's when Adam stepped in. He's like just trying to help, and I made Mike lose his mind. So we decided to go to this national prayer thing. And we get there, and...
Tell me the dog lady was there.
Not the dog lady. The mayor, who I emailed, and he sent it down the flagpole and back to the sergeant at the police station instead of up the flagpole. And he spoke with Adam before, and he was like, well, the only thing I can say is, take it to court. The judge is fair. She'll listen to both sides of the story, just like I do. I listen to both sides of the story. And, and he's like, and let the judge take it from there. And he's like, you do realize that this woman is an international journalist. And, I'm trying to help you guys out. I'm trying to squash this before, Coriopolis becomes on the map. And he's just like, what did he say? He flipped the conversation. He's like, oh, he's like, so how do you know her? And he's like, she's staying here right now. And he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, I'm the one that witnessed this all happen. He's telling this to the mayor. Hey. And so then after that, after I went to the cops and they told me that they were going to take the side of this lady or whatever, and all this other stuff happened with me trying to get this information off to her. She sent me nasty little gross, it looks like there was feces on the one envelope, it was so nasty.
Oh,
and here we go. So, the mayor basically, I documented on this date at this time. I went to the police station I spoke with Sergeant Litterini. Upon leaving, I received a call from him saying he spoke with the animal control person. She did receive my information, and he said, all I can say is don't contact her anymore, don't email her, call her, whatever, and just wait and have a hearing about it. And so I sent all this information back out in the thread that went to, the governor, all these senators, Jim Jordan, I sent this thing to everyone, including the mayor here. And what does he do? But he sends it back down the flagpole to the sergeant. So, now I have, every cop in this town, looking at me sideways. So we show up at the prayer thing, and he stands up and he speaks on behalf of Shapiro and reads something, and then he speaks on behalf of himself and reads something. I just stand there staring at him, and Adam, he walks basically out pretty much the front of where people are speaking and standing, because he's all the police officers are on the other side, and I can see him looking at me. And so he's just holding his Bible up and waving. Parker's what are you doing? What's he doing? I said, I don't know. I think he's lost it after today. After everything that's happened, I think he's losing his mind. And he comes back over. I was what was that about? He was Sergeant Litterini's over there. I was just wanting him to know that we're here. And I'm ha. And then, then everything ending with Mike in the evening, where we had to drive to Chippewa just to get this kid home because he insisted on having his way. It was a big dick swinging contest, And so we drive to Coraopolis, and then I said, meet him. I'm just going to lay in the back and pretend I'm sleeping. And that way we can get this all over with, because his whole thing is, I don't even know you, man, and you're telling me what to do. That ain't cool. And Adam's just trying to solve the situation. There's a problem.
Mike, this is Adam. He is my boyfriend. Your children live under his roof. Say hello, Adam. This is Mike. Look, now you guys know each other.
Now you know each other.
But Mike, sometimes he's going to speak on my behalf.
Exactly. The only two times he's gotten involved with our conversation has been in regards to this dog. You know what I mean? So it's got it's very apparent that they're coming. Hey, Rocky. That's so beautiful.
Hi, Kristen.
Hi.
I'm going to go to preschool.
Preschool.
That's awesome. Are you going to learn to read and write and do all these math problems?
Oh, bye.
See you later. But yeah, I haven't texted him back yet because he sent this big, long, dramatic, this cat's feeling pretty comfortable, thinking he can just tell me what to do and all this stuff. What?
Dude, he said, dude.
I know, right? It blows. Yeah, it blows my mind.
His brothers taught him loser and dummy.
Oh.
So, and now he's just going around saying loser. And dude.
Little boys. Dude. That sounds like us. That sounds like your mom. I'm emailing the attorneys right now that I have on retainer for the East Palestine class action lawsuit, and I'm gonna ask them if they can help me, because I'm in kind of hot water, with a lot of things. And since I already have them, and it's a no fee until we all get paid type of thing, I feel as long as they have the jurisdiction, because I feel they're located in different states, this branch, that they could help with both of these situations. You know what I mean? Plus the East Palestine thing. But if not, I need to find some sort of Republican attorney, and I need to know that they're going to, because this is a very Democratic town. The mayor's gay, and it's just you could see it. You can see the evilness in, like, just like in that courtroom, the way I was talked to, like.
He is up my butt 24/7. I can't get rid of you. I just can't. Do you love your mommy?
He sure does.
I love you. I love you. No, I should be appreciative, but sometimes it's a little much.
Yeah, I get it. Because when the two little ones were babies, it was like one on each side all the time. It was like having twins, and you know, it was like, Mom, I got them. You know, it was like competition to like get my love. And
I bet
you want to appreciate it, but it's like you also need your own body. You know, like you need to be separate from those tiny little things. Sometimes I just want to lay on the couch. I don't want another human suction to me.
Yeah.
So like, I get it.
Even when I go poop, he's in the bathroom.
Right. This is like finally having privacy in the bathroom is such an accomplishment in life.
Yeah, right? I told you I'm like, your drives to work alone are more alone time than I get.
Yep.
Yeah.
If I would have had an attorney for this, it would have been awesome and amazing and nothing. But
you know
like he wanted like $3,000, and I'm like, this is only $1,100 worth of citations. You know what I mean?
Right.
The math didn't work.
Right. I would talk to him about all of that, man. He's a good guy.
Okay. Yeah. Send me that information, because I am like up poop creek.
Yeah. So basically, they're just ordering you to pay fines.
It's like almost $1,500. Was found guilty of these 3 things, even though I produced whatever they asked me to produce. So, yeah, it's the fines. I don't know, like, I didn't sign anything. I didn't agree that I was guilty, you know. I just left the courtroom, and I asked Adam, I said, what happens next? He said, you have to call them and, you know, find out how you're supposed to pay. I'm like, why should I have to call them?
No. Hell no.
Like, what was that?
Yeah, how weird. Pennsylvania, man.
Yeah, and you know what's really weird is I watched everyone go and speak separately. Like, I saw there were 2 kids. There was, you know, this real dressed up, you know, like white kid there with his parents. And then there was like this black kid, like, that was there, like, and they went in separate times. So I'm like, why wouldn't we have gone in separately? Like, I plead my case and show her my facts, and then, you know, the animal control lady pleads, like, to her and all this stuff. Why were we all sitting in a room together with no witnesses and no one typing out what we were saying, or, you know?
Yeah? Really?
That doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe I watch too much court TV. I don't know, you know?
No, but there should have been somebody documenting all of that.
Right.
And then at the end, at least, they should have been like, go see the, you know.
Yeah, she just said, you guys are done. So he walked out.
Huh. Very strange.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I'm being psyop, dude.
I don't know.
This all happened after Stu Peters. It's like happened right after Stu Peters.
Right.
And it just seemed like, and I hate being conspiracy oriented, but I'm like, you know, the Viet Bob, the guy that lives across the street, he watched my Stu Peters thing, and I told him that I also was interacting with the producers about Fetterman and what I thought was going on with Fetterman. And he said, yeah, they did end up covering that after you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And because I don't watch Stu Peters on a regular basis, you know what I mean? Like, I follow him on Twitter. I see like a couple little videos that he does, but so I didn't know. But he said, he's like, yeah, they covered that like maybe like a few days later or something like that. So like I gave them the lead on it, and I told them I was giving them a lead. And then it was like, what, a week later that this shit happened. And like the weird part is that this is all during, while I'm getting real loud about East Palestine, and I'm getting like military industrial complex coming after me on Twitter over my verbiage. I'm talking to Adam's cousin who lives in Darlington, and we were going to do a podcast. And that day, the day of the dog incident, and he had sent me a message on Twitter, but like everything had gone down, and I didn't want to look at my phone, and so like later on, like after everything calmed down, I opened and I read it because I was going to apologize to him for bailing on him, and he was telling me, he's like, I can't, we're not going to be able to talk. I'm being monitored. He's like, so, I'm sorry. I wish you guys the best of luck. And I'm like, man, that's ironic. Coincidence threshold. Like, honestly, that's the last time we spoke.
He's in PA?
He's in Darlington.
Where is that, Pennsylvania?
Yeah, it's right by it's a mile off. It's a mile away from the train derailment. They got all of the fallout there, and they're not even like, it's Beaver County, so like no one really.
So wait, did you say he's a cop?
No.
Why would?
Because he was the only one that was talking about it on Twitter. And
how does he know he's being monitored?
He just knew. I'm sure he knew, because he was getting shadow banned. None of his videos were getting posted. He's like he's retired military, and he also witnessed the Twin Towers falling, because he's posted videos, like his actual recordings of, and like he's very in tune to that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like he's very aware of like that side of stuff, because he knew that Channel 4, because I saw it on KDKA, Channel 4 was there that night. He has video of Channel 4 there, and they removed the video from the internet, because his whole thing was, why were you here and you never reported it? Because they dropped the story.
Glasses.
No, you can't see my glasses. I don't know, Kristen.
It's crazy.
It very well can be.
I know. I don't want to think like that, because I feel like that's like two tinfoil hats.
No, it's like, and you know what you think about, you bring about.
Right.
So, I don't even know. I don't even know. I would just try to stay positive. Try not to worry.
Yeah, I'm trying.
You know what? Try to just feel like you're protected and you're shielded, and all of these things are just happening.
Right.
To make you stronger. Right. What outlets do you have? Can you write up an article about what's going on, maybe, and send it out? I'll share it and just see if there's any attorneys out there that would take it.
That's not a bad idea. That's really
I would
not.
just write all out your entire experience.
Because I did, because I thought I would have to make a statement yesterday. So I typed.
What about calling
what about what?
The news?
I did send them an email at the beginning of all this.
Did you?
Sent KDKA Investigates an email and like showed them, like, it was the email I sent out that I sent to you that like basically said, this is what she did and this is like what's going on. And I haven't heard back from anyone, but I mean, I was typing for hours, just like everything that happened, where I was in my mind, and you're right, like about the whole, like, knowing protection, because like when I walked away from the National Day of Prayer, I said, I have literally come face to face with every negative entity in my life today. Every single one of them. The Sergeant Litterini, the cops that were there, the mayor, this animal control lady, a judge that just anally raped me, and my rights as a citizen, as a person, and Mike. I'm like, it was literally, like I said, now we just need a witch to show up at the door, like that's a lie, like the icing on the cake, like I can't take it no more. But I had that reality when I left there. I was like, it was like we were protected. Like the sun came out, it had been raining all day, and the sun was shining right down on me and my Bible. While the cops are looking at me and the mayor's...
Stay in that mind, yeah. Just keep thinking like that. Like,
yeah.
all of these things are only happening to make you stronger. Like, it's just like what's happening in the world right now.
Right.
Things are going because the darkness is, coming into the light.
Yep.
It's just all kind of happening for you, but there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
I believe. And I just, you're going to win in the end, and your dog is
right.
the tool. It all had to happen for whatever reason.
Right. That's what I keep on saying. Like, because I got in the tub, and I'm like, what next? Like, what now? What do I do now?
Yeah.
And then I read up that, like, she took out, basically violated every single one of my rights by not letting me even speak.
Yeah. For sure. They look at you. When we were going through the mortgage thing, we typed up a whole argument as to why, presenting our case. Mm-hmm. And they just came back and filed for a motion for summary judgment. Like, they didn't even, anytime you file like a complaint, court is mail. You could do everything through the mail, but the attorney did not even have to respond to our, you make your claims, they have to come back and debunk them. They didn't have to do that with us because we were pro se. We didn't have anybody representing us, and they filed for a motion for a summary judgment saying that we had no, facts to dispute their claim, and that was that. I'm like, they didn't even care. Like, it's just so wrong.
Right.
They don't give a shit.
Right.
At one point, I went into the court to drop off. We tried to file an appeal, and there was a woman in there, and she was like the judge's assistant or secretary or whatever. And she was like, oh, it was for me. And she looked at it, and she was like, I don't even know what this is. The guy helping us out. He was like, well, I guess they'll have to deal with it. And I'm like, he chuckled, and I'm like, I don't think it's very funny.
Right.
I'm a mom of 4 kids trying to save her home.
Right.
And I said, who do you guys even work for anyways? Do you work for the attorney? Do you work for the people? Like, who
right.
I said, who pays your salary? Who pays for this building?
Yeah.
Isn't it taxpayer funded? And then they got real nice about it, and they started talking nice to me. But it's like, seriously, they are in the frame of mind. They don't work for us. They work for the system 100%
Right. That's true too, man.
But hey, what do you guys? I gotta go. I gotta get on the tracker.
Yeah, I think I gave you the whole story, so that's good. And there's a night
fucked up. Like, I'll get you that attorney's information.
Okay, perfect.
Because I feel like you don't have a choice but to fight this.
Right? Yeah. They think that I'm gonna just take it because the judge said this is it. You're guilty of everything.
Get a good attorney, honestly, like, you should be able to sue the state for suffering and everything. Like,
that's what I'm thinking. I haven't been able to do shit since this happened. I told Logan the other day, I was like, it's been 2 months, and I don't even know where the 2 months went because my mind has been so consumed by this. I haven't gotten anything done.
I know. And you can blame, this in time of work and all this stuff. Like, I'm telling you, I'll give you